Namaste, everybody. Today I'm going to do something a little different because I'm a bit under the weather, but I still felt like I wanted to talk about something really important that's been on my mind and something that I've been reading about that's pulled me into a different space of my practice. And that thing is relaxation. Relaxation is the basis of all yoga, all spiritual practice. We need to come into relaxation. And often, specifically in my own experience, when I have gone into an asana practice or pranayama or really anything in my life, I've gone into it full force, full effort, straining, gritting my teeth, pushing myself, hurting myself, trying to do it right, trying to do it correctly. And that has not gotten me anywhere. I'm just gonna light some Palo Santo while we sit here together. So personally, I've been seeing and receiving the message that I need to slow down, that I need to relax. I think that's why I'm a little under the weather, because my body is telling me, hey, slow down. You're going too fast, working too hard. And it's not the fact that I'm working or doing, it's how I'm working, how I'm doing, how I'm eating, how I'm practicing. It doesn't really matter what you eat, what you do. Are you doing it from a place of fight or flight? Wow, sorry, this is really going. Are you doing this from a place of fight or flight, from a place of stress, or are you doing it from a place of relaxation? I'm gonna put that down now and off to the side. Don't want to light this place on fire. And I was doing some research about relaxation, doing some reading, some researching, and I didn't understand how important the relaxation aspect is. Because when you learn yoga, when I've learned yoga and even practiced yoga in videos, there's an element of it that's active, that's a bit effortful. And that little bit of effort can be translated into full body effort, into full body force and strain. Let me strain into this posture. Let me strain myself to breathe in this specific way. But as I've been practicing relaxation in my yoga poses and just in my practice in general, in my life in general, I feel like for me the practice is now starting to leak into life. And that's the point. That's why we practice, to be able to live the way that we practice, mindfully, in meditation, always. And what does that require? That requires our nervous system to be relaxed, our body, our mind, our emotional life, our entire being to be relaxed. And I think I've said this in a couple of my other videos, but that's why it is so important for us to take Shavasana at the end of a practice or to meditate after we move all of this energy around, because that is why we do it, to be able to meditate, to be able to come into ultimate relaxation so that we can tap into the subtlety of our being, to hear the subtlety of our mind, to hear the heart more clearly. And if we omit that part of our practice and we just hit the mat, do the thing, get up and go back to our day, then what's the point of the practice? Why are we doing it? And I'm not asking you this necessarily. I'm asking because this is what I've been contemplating in myself. Why practice yoga? Why meditate? Why take 20 minutes of my day or 2 hours, however long I meditate or practice, and then just pick up my phone right after and go back and jump into that old program? Where's the practice being put into my daily life? So when I started to really read and learn about how relaxation is a fundamental in yoga, it helped me to really shift the way I approach my own practice, the way I approach really most things in my day-to-day now. When I'm around people, when I'm going on a walk, when I'm eating food, what is the state of my body? Am I in a relaxed state, or am I in a state of tension and pressure and stress? And sometimes it's not that easy to relax that state when you're in it. And that's why we have the practices, the breathing practices, the asana practices. Oh, I can't relax my leg. Well, there's these poses to help stretch and relax your leg. Oh, my breathing is shallow. Well, there's breath work to help us deepen the breath and also to calm the nervous system when it is overstimulated. I find that I like to drink coffee. Probably not the best practice because it does tend to leave me a bit overstimulated. However, I found that, okay, that's an external thing I'm putting into my body that is, yes, affecting me, but I have the tools and the means to balance myself out. So when I do feel that overstimulation from a cup of coffee, I do some of these balancing practices, and I actually find that it levels out really nicely. So I'm saying all of this because I think that a lot of yoga today is a workout. That's one of the biggest things that I learned from my training was that most people see it as a workout, as an exercise, a way to get fit, a way to build the body. But we're doing this all so we can sit and meditate. All so we can sit and be. We don't be enough. We don't spend time being. We spend time doing. And the relaxation, even if it's just an awareness of, let me just attempt to relax my body right now. Let me just attempt, while I'm watching this TV show, while I'm doing this work, let me be aware. Let me scan my body really quick. You don't need to even stop what you're doing. It's just like throwing one brain cell of awareness onto the body, onto the mind, and just saying relax. And I think it will take time to make that an instant command of the body, but just that awareness of where I am in my being, where my nervous system is in every situation, and then attempting to go into the relaxation is really important and helps to build that skill. Most times when we're in a state of tension, to relax, we need to actually tense ourselves a little more. So it reminds me of the whole saying about addiction, where if you're addicted to something, the way to break that addiction is to go to the extreme of it. Maybe not with everything, but let's say you're addicted to chocolate. If you want to break the addiction, eat chocolate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snack, and before you go to bed, and you'll eventually get sick of it and put the addiction down. So all that to say, with the tension in the body or in the mind, go into it. Tense even more. If you're can't relax the body, then let's do a physical exercise where we squeeze every muscle within us and then relax. And that signals to the body that we're trying to enter this state of calmness and let go. Sometimes that tension, more often than not, is stuck in the body and is something that the body is doing without us even aware of it. I know that I have a tension here, and I have a tension here, and I definitely have a tension in my abdomen as most of us hold our belly in, but it's not so on the surface. It's very much a subtle, it's not a subtle feeling, but the brain has chosen to not bring that into our awareness because maybe it's too much, Maybe we're suppressing something there. Whatever it is, the brain has numbed out that pathway. So when we do something like meditation, and specifically Vipassana meditation, where we bring our awareness onto our body, that awareness slowly grows and slowly comes into our field of vision, where maybe our hand felt relaxed at one point, but 10, 12 minutes into the meditation, your hand is feeling like it's incredibly tense. And you're like, what's going on here? Well, that tension is what's been there the whole time. And you're now just becoming aware of it. Or something's trying to release there, and you know, it's tensing up for you to bring your awareness to it and help it to release. So I can minorly feel these areas of tension in my body when I think about it. But as I'm going through my day, I don't really know that it's there unless I sit down and I quiet the noise and allow these feelings to arise. And when you do that, it can get incredibly painful and scary and uncomfortable. Same with the mind. The mind likes to run its thoughts, but you're not always aware of the pathways or what's happening in your subconscious level or the different levels of your mind. So when you do come into meditation, as I've learned in transcendental meditation, the mind's natural way of releasing that tension is to give you thoughts. And that's why it's a continuous game of coming back to awareness and getting caught up in thought and coming back to awareness. That coming off of the awareness and getting lost in thought isn't wrong. That's completely natural. That's how the mind releases tension. It needs to let it go. So it doesn't just do that. It's like, okay, it's gone. No, it has to come out. It has to be released. So that discomfort, that place of facing the pain, the discomfort, the parts of ourselves that we suppress, that's actually being. That's meditation, because you're allowing that to flow and be there and giving it your love through your awareness and your light. So I'm saying all of this because I hope that this helps you to just have a brain cell through the whole day, as much as you can, and hopefully for the rest of your life, to just ask yourself, whenever you're doing something, am I relaxed right now? And then, to the best of your ability, without straining yourself or forcing yourself or being ashamed that you're not relaxed, just try to relax. And sometimes you might need to take a couple minutes to close your eyes and pause and whatever you need to do. But that relaxation is going to be so vital, because that is going to help the energy to flow more freely and help you to move into a higher state of consciousness more easily. And specifically, if you're practicing asanas or following some of the kriyas or pranayama techniques, don't strain. Don't do like I have done, or like most people do, and you probably do it as well, and force yourself into a posture, because there is an aspect of activity. Like, let's say you're in a forward fold and your legs need to be grounded and engaged and stay straight so you can really activate the full stretch and stretch the entire back body. However, this is also something that's trying to relax your back. So the legs can stay a bit active because you need to press them down and engage the front body to relax the back body. But your back doesn't need to really be tense there. And for me, I've always like pushed my back down and tried to press my chest forward. But what I've learned and what's been helping me is let the arms really be the active force in that stretch, and pull your head just with your arms and your hands, with your grip on your feet, forward, and completely relax your back, completely relax your hips and neck. And then when you come into a place that feels like you're in the full stretch, you can relax your hands and your arms. But this allows your back, the back body, which is the main thing we're trying to stretch in that pose, to relax. And just that mindset of trying to relax the back, will help to get you into the posture, help to reap the benefits from the posture too. Because if we're straining, there's that nervous system isn't really able to relax. And the point of doing these asanas The goal is so that you can sit in that asana for meditation. And so you should be able to be in whatever yoga postures exist out there. The goal is to be able to be in that posture for meditation for as long as you possibly can. We start with a minute maybe, or up to 5 minutes if you can. That's a really great amount of time to go forward to build to. But my teacher has taught me that we should also be able to do Malasana yogic squat for an hour, headstand for an hour. And that's through meditation, through sitting through the discomfort of whatever the pose is bringing up and whatever hormones are being secreted, whatever energies are being moved. You should be able to be in that posture for a very long time and meditate, to sit in the posture. So focus on relaxing. The mind is something that I'm still working on myself, but I'm starting with the physical body, especially in anything that I'm doing that I often exert an extra amount of physical force. With the breath helps to calm the mind. So through pranayama and breath work, you can do that and allow the breath to naturally calm the mind down. But remember that the mind's going to purge what it needs to purge. So the thing is to become the witness, and that also takes practice. But something that I found is that the witness and the voice both feel the same, but you can live in both at the same time. You should, the quality is living in both at the same time until you feel very separate and more identified with the witness and separate from the voice. But the voice is going to feel like you because it is you. It's all you. It's everything is us. So there's all these intricate qualities and aspects to the meditation and the asana practice and pranayama practice, but the main core of it all should be relaxation. And what I like to do is just practice body scanning as much as I can throughout the day, whether I'm driving. Of course, you want to be focused when you're driving, but you can drive relaxed. You don't need to drive tense, like that's not really going to get you anywhere. So this is a call to action for you to remind yourself as much as you can to just relax in anything that you're doing, in any situation. If you can pierce through the mind's stress, through that program that's playing within you, in any moment that you find, to just remind yourself to just relax, and start with just relaxing the body. And then maybe over time, see where your breath is and try to just relax your breath. But I find that relaxing the body and just like reminding myself to relax is more of like let me just come into stillness with myself and just like be for a second and see if I can relax my physical body. Again, not forcing, because forcing is not relaxing, but with the breath, it's more of just allowing. The relaxation then becomes allowing and awareness, and then we can go deeper into that, and that raises its frequency and becomes higher qualities of consciousness as we go deeper. But the first and most important aspect is to relax. We need to feel safe in the body. We need to feel secure, stable, all those root chakra elements that grounds us down into the body and grounds our consciousness is here and now in this moment. And when we can do that, we can then ascend higher. We can then feel safe enough to climb the ladder and see what other aspects of ourself there are to explore. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you remember and remind yourself to relax, go through life relaxed, go through work relaxed, brush your teeth relaxed. Whatever it is, just enjoy the moment and relax and allow whatever is coming up for you to come up, and be that stillness, be that eye of the storm, be that light in the dark. Last thing I'll say, one of my favorite paintings of all time that I always think about when I think about this concept of how I want to be in the world, how I can be this eye of the storm, this calmness when there's chaos around me. I don't know the name. I should probably find it because it's a beautiful painting and I'd love to have it in my home one day. But it's a sage and he's studying a book and he has a candle and the light is encompassing him and the book and just a little part of him. And that's the only light in the painting. And everything around him is darkness. And in the darkness are these faces of demons that are looking at him and smiling at him and probably tempting him. but he's staying with the light, even though it's not that bright, reading his book, probably aware of everything around him, but he's staying focused with his light and not allowing these forces or energies to pull him into the darkness. And that probably keeps his candle lit too, infinitely. And so I hope that image, if you want to search up the image, you know the name, you want to comment down whatever that name is, I would love that. Although I can also do that myself. But just let that image, that Eye of the Storm image, light in the dark, allow you to understand how we can practice being in the world and that can be a macrocosmic thing or a microcosmic thing, something that just happens in our mind or happens in our outward reality. So I will end it here. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and namaste.